Hey everyone, welcome to Keller Acres. Today I'm going to be making some chocolate peppermint truffles. So what we're going to need for these truffles is 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, 2 2/3 cup of semi-sweet chocolate, and the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of peppermint extract. I'm going to do 3 teaspoons. We want these to be really good and pepperminty. Love peppermint. So let's go over to the stove and get started on these yummy truffles. Okay, we're over at the stove. We're gonna get started, but I just need to add, I forgot to mention, you also need 5 1/3 tablespoons of softened butter. Just cut into small pieces. I softened mine in the microwave, so then I just kind of tried to chop it up a little bit from there. We're gonna start by turning our pan onto low, and we're going to be pouring in our 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and we're going to be bringing that just to a low boil. And then once it hits that, we're gonna immediately remove it from the heat, pour in our chocolate chips, let it set for 2 minutes, then we're gonna whisk that together. Then we'll be adding our butter and our peppermint extract. So let's get started. I'll get that stove on again to low, pour in my heavy whipping cream, get that warming up. Okay, it's just starting to come to a boil. So I'm gonna turn the burner off. We're gonna just pour the chocolate chips in, take it off of the heat, and we're gonna let that set for 2 minutes. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. So now I'm gonna grab my whisk and we're gonna just whisk this until it's silky and smooth. Love some nice melted chocolate. All right, this looks really good. Okay, now we're gonna mix in our 5 1/3 tablespoons of butter and our 3 teaspoons or whatever you're choosing to use of peppermint extract. Oh, that peppermint smells delicious. I am actually gonna give this little chocolate mixture a quick taste too, just to make sure that's enough peppermint. I recently made some peppermint patties. Those were delicious, but my husband thought they needed more peppermint, so this time around, I'm gonna make sure I go heavy on the peppermint. Something about peppermint this time of year is just so good. I don't really think about it any other time of year, but around the holidays, definitely think of peppermint. I love peppermint mocha coffee. It's just such a great flavor. All right, this is almost stirred in. Takes a minute to get that butter all stirred in all the way. You wanna make sure that's fully incorporated. Then we're gonna be pouring this into a bowl and putting it in the fridge to harden for a couple of hours. I'm gonna be pouring mine into this glass bowl. And then once it's hardened, after it's chilled for a couple of hours, then we'll be able to scoop it out and then get ready to dip it in some chocolate. All right, I'm gonna give this a little taste. You know, I think it could use a little more peppermint actually. Taste and adjust however you feel. I'm just pouring some more in. Again, it only called for 1 teaspoon. I don't feel like that would have been very much peppermint flavor at all. So I'm kind of doing this like I do my vanilla. Like there can never be too much vanilla. I'm kind of taking that same approach with this peppermint here. My little glass container. Hopefully this is big enough. Yep. I'm gonna get this in the fridge and I'll see you back here in a couple hours or so when this is nice and firmed up. Okay, our chocolate peppermint mixture has been in the fridge for a while, so it's nice and firmed up. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop it out and roll it into balls and place it on this parchment paper lined cookie sheet. And then we're gonna pop it in the freezer to harden them up before we dip them in chocolate and sprinkle with candy cane. So just scoop some out, however big you want your little balls to be. So it's been about 2 hours. You could keep it in the fridge a little longer, or you could try the freezer to get it a little more firm. I just didn't want it to be too firm. So just work fast, basically, before it starts to get kind of melty on you. But you know what? We're gonna be dipping them in chocolate, so they don't have to be perfect. At least I don't think they do. They're still gonna taste amazing. That's what matters. I'm also, when I go to melt this chocolate, which I'll share my measurements here with you when I go to do that part after this hardens, but I'm also gonna add a little bit more peppermint extract to the chocolate just to get a little more peppermint flavor in there. Even though I did put lots in, you just can't have too much peppermint. And then also we will be sprinkling it with some crushed candy canes. Don't remember if I mentioned that or not, but make sure you've got some candy canes or some peppermints that you can crush up. There we go. All right, we are ready to pop this in the freezer. Okay, our truffles have hardened in the freezer and they are ready to be dipped. I melted 1 1/4 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips with a tablespoon of avocado oil shortening. Then I also have some crushed up candy canes, or you can use some peppermint candies. Crush those up to sprinkle on top. That's gonna be delicious. So we probably wanna work kind of fast because I imagine these are gonna get soft fast. So we're gonna wanna try to dip them as quick as possible. Some of these turned out a little bigger than I meant for them to, but that's okay. They can always be cut in half if someone doesn't want to eat the whole truffle. I was going to put a little peppermint in my chocolate, and I did. You have to be careful, whoops, these are really slippery, doing that because it does kind of mess with the chocolate being as melty as it's supposed to. So I ended up having to add just a touch more avocado oil and put mine back in the microwave. So I would not recommend adding any peppermint extract to your chocolate, just so you don't have to worry about it, the consistency of it getting messed up. All right, they're all dipped and all sprinkled. Now we just stick them in the freezer to harden them up. I hope you enjoy these delicious peppermint truffles. Also, be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying our videos.